Welcome to episode 19 of the
19.
Muscle News and Merlin Bodybuilding Podcast with my buddy Eric. How's it going, man?
It's going okay over here in Vegas. Finally starting to cool down a little bit. And it's
Yeah,
funny when I say cool down, I mean it's only in the 90s rather than the hundreds.
yeah,
But I can't wait for the fall to come. I love the fall weather being from New
yeah.
York. I don't like the winter weather. I like the fall weather. So that's what it gets here in Vegas. So I'm looking
I,
forward to that.
I
And
like the
I'm
winter
getting
one.
psyched up for the Olympia that's coming very, very
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. Here it's raining today a lot, so I like the winter. Everything gets greener and it's that heat. It just bugs me, I prefer
It's
I
it's a it could be a lot. It
I
could be a lot.
prefer I prefer the winter. Yeah, the Olympia's coming up, a lot of competitions, from every federation, because the year starts to close down, you know, uh uh but obviously everybody's talking about the Olympia, thank God, because for a minute there it was just the masters, for all those reasons and stuff. But now it seems like we're focusing on the Olympia, and there's some, incredible news this week. We'll touch on it today,
Yep.
actually, a couple of hours ago.
Very big news.
Yeah, we'll touch on it while we're going through the program. Uh, First of all, lots of shocks this week. We can talk about the event in France, the qualifier for the Olympia for 2026.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This show makes me cringe again because I feel so bad for one
Yeah.
athlete in particular.
Let me just why let me just get that the results up so we get the names right, because there's so many names now.
Yeah, and a
Uh
lot of times we don't the
New
shows that are
athletes.
overseas, we don't know these a lot of these
Yeah,
athletes are new to us.
we'll see the athletes know who they are, but you know, uh
And this, so everybody knows, you can't qualify for this year's Olympia anymore.
no,
These are
that's it.
qualifiers for the
Yeah.
26th Olympia.
Yeah, that's it. So this happened. Here it is. Okay, results. So, uh, a new guy won out of nowhere. Everybody thought Quentin was heading to win that show,
Of
for
course.
2026 at least, and a guy comes up by the name of Sergey Danilov. He's Russian. Okay, I can let me share the page. Uh, he's a Russian bodybuilder. Uh, Now this guy, I have been watching a number of podcasts like I usually do. Because it's interesting to hear everybody's opinion and things like that. Now, the majority of them, almost all of them, didn't have any idea who this kid was. All right. Um, to give a background on him, I've been following him since around 2018, 2019. He used to compete with the IFBB in Russia on the side of Dr. Rafael Santonia, the IFBB president. And, in Russia, just to give a bit of it, they take bodybuilding really seriously, especially on the side of the IFBB, because, that's like they push they make I once read a speech from their president. They bring up their athletes. They don't want them to rush. That's why you never see these guys, and all of a sudden they're huge. You see them at the end of the process. They want them to climb the ladder slowly within the IFBB, doing small shows, regional, national in Russia, and then obviously the highlight is the Siberian Power Show. It's an amateur and pro show that's like Olympia level within the IFBB professional division there. And I saw him grow as a young bodybuilder. He made his way up. He earned his pro card with the former elite, now IVV pro as well. And all of a sudden, boom, he appears in France. Um, I once bumped into him at the World Championship. It's like hitting huge. He's a really big guy.
He's
You know,
obviously massive.
yeah, big boy. He always had a bit of how do you say? Maybe there's better pictures here. Let me see.
He
Um,
looks like a little kid. His face is like so
yeah,
young.
no, he's not very old. His I think I have some. You're seeing this?
Yeah, that's Quentin next to
Yeah,
him.
yeah. His before his arm development was a bit behind. It still
You
is.
could see it. Yeah, his
Yeah,
arms definitely are not as developed as his
but
the rest of his torso and his
yeah, but
quads.
his condition.
He's got a like a Dorian Yates type
Yeah,
of density.
yeah. And according to people that were there and things, he was like ripped to the shreds, you know.
Well, look at the
Uh,
side of his leg there. Look at the
yeah, his
hamstring,
legs are
man.
huge. He had
Big boy.
small cat, like they're defined, but they're small. But yeah, but I think Quinton fell a bit behind. He was tired here, you know.
Oh, poor Quentin. He's
Yeah.
competed so many times. He still looks fantastic, though. I mean, look at his
No,
glutes.
that's the
Uh,
thing. If they're gonna judge on lines and
it's
aesthetics and you know.
yeah, it's an apples and oranges show
Yeah,
right there
but then you
because
get this guy, Sergey comes along, man. I'm telling you, you know, and it's not, I'm nothing against Russian athletes, but usually, you know, the Russian athletes are really big and they don't have that, you know, they're not that defined, you know, they
you
don't
know
have that
he
point.
reminds me of when that freak I think his name was Alexander Fedorov came
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
Russia
Remember then he had
and
that
he
puffed
was on
hair.
stage looking
Yeah,
almost as big as Ronnie and Jay and
yeah,
he
yeah,
made a big stir. They
yeah,
Russian body they produce some big boys.
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, they're like in the Iranians, bodybuilding factories, you know,
But
like
it's because they take things, not
seriously.
that everybody can take it seriously, but
Yeah,
there's a certain level in
yeah,
Russia and Iran where it's like it's the only thing they do. It's like all
yeah.
they think of.
And the thing is, like I said, when they represent Russia at the World Championships, they wear the medals at the airport when they get on the plane, when they get right. You know, it's they
It's
take a
very big.
very
Wait, is that Mustafa next to
yeah.
him?
He got it. He competed.
Oh, he looks pretty good there.
Yeah, yeah. He had in the past he had some stomach problems, you know, gut problems, and
Yeah, I
he's
used to see
looking
he used to
good,
try
huh?
to drag
But
his leg.
obviously condition, you know, he's living in Toronto at the moment. Oh, he's been living there for a couple of years now. So, you know, um,
I gotta say though, I love Quentin's physique. He he is going to be so dangerous.
but he's off here. You can tell he's not
A
at his
little
best.
bit. Well, I mean, how many shows has he done this year? Like
Yeah,
seven?
yeah, yeah.
But could you
Um,
imagine having to take second place so many times?
yeah. I mean, then this freak comes along, you know.
Yeah, he's probably like, oh my God, this guy's now going to be,
Yeah, yeah.
he's
I mean,
got very, lot of density.
yeah, yeah. No, he's a monster. He's a monster. And I was like, you know, I hadn't seen him for a while post anything, you know, like he does post, but you know, it's not like somebody you keep your eye on all the time. But no, he is you know, he's a big boy. I mean,
He's a big boy. He's got to bring up those arms, but if he does,
yeah, I know Fuad was talking about him and he said he doesn't have an Instagram page, but he does. I can show it here. I mean, this is his page, you know. Uh, you know, he's not small, you know.
no,
Uh,
he's a big kid.
yeah.
I wonder how tall he is. Do you know how tall he is?
No. I mean, here I think he had a bit of he did a small operation to cover his you know, belly button.
Oh, he might have had a hernia fixed.
Yeah, yeah, but look at his condition, huh?
He's just very, very dense and dry, very
That's
Dorian-esque,
yeah,
very Dorian-esque.
that's what made him win. You know, it's the condition, you know. So like I said, you
He's
know,
just gotta, if I have one piece of advice for him, just don't put on too much more weight too fast.
yeah,
Keep that
I
waist.
know.
He
Look at
doesn't
him.
want to get that waist big, but he's a freak.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he deserves the, you know, everybody's talking about Quinton second, but you know, he deserves the a bit of praise, you know, because
Well, it's good to show him off because he's going to
yeah,
be a
he
new,
came in. Yeah, he came in, you know, he kicked butt and he goes back home with an
yeah, he did his job.
Olympia qualification, you know. I mean, you know, I mean, this guy I watch him train, you know, it's that old style, you know. and he's like, you know, he's always, always
Training in his
wears.
pink socks.
Yeah, he's always like that. These small gyms, and he's just, they just live and breathe bodybuilding. It's
Well, because
amazing.
you know what? They prove these kind of guys prove that you don't need a lot of like specialized equipment. You just need to
No,
be
the
able to train
basics.
your ass
Yeah,
off.
yeah, the basics. I mean, like I said, he's. I mean, I'm not saying that he's gonna, just brush everybody off at the Olympia. This is when he was in his younger days with the IFBB. He made a lot of advancements, huh? He got big.
Yeah, he got much just thicker, like he just got so much thicker.
Yeah, yeah. Always refined. He never used to compete a lot, maybe once every 2 years, but he's there. So
Hey, listen, he's qualified for the Olympia now. I
he
mean, like,
qualified the Olympia in one show. So
so he goes, he's in it.
good for him. I mean, and in the standing in the results, he won. Quinton second. I mean, he got first place, total of 6 points, so perfect score basically.
Oh, he's perfect across the board. Wow.
Yeah, Quinton got 12. You know,
Second across the board.
Roberto Bonomo from Italy got 18 points. Right, Hassan placed fourth. Uh, Stefan Matala from France placed fifth. He was that smaller guy. I think he was in classic once. Nice
Hmm.
physique. Um, Stefan Matala. Let me see if I find it here. He had. I think they said if he had a bit more condition and size, here he is. Uh, you know, this is the guy.
This guy is very dangerous.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, he did come from classic.
yeah. He looks like
He is
David.
very
Yeah,
dangerous. This guy has got some full muscle bellies, and he is hard as striated and just
yeah,
very fresh looking muscle.
yeah. He plays fifth. So
He's gonna move up. He's gonna get.
yeah, but
I
he
have a
has to.
feeling this guy's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, he has to get out there though. He's
But like, if you just look at the chest, look at the legs. I mean, it's so striated,
yeah, yeah.
round.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's
Maybe
yeah. He's
so
gonna be another one to look out for, I think, in the
yeah,
future.
yeah. So you know. It's nice to see different faces at the event. So I don't know if there was anybody else. James Hollenshed got one, two, one, two, sixth place.
How many
James,
how many how many athletes total were there?
uh, 16.
Oh, it's a pretty big show.
Yeah,
Pretty big
yeah,
turnout. So
that
sixth
was
place isn't bad for James.
yeah. So they tried to get their Olympia qualification out of the way
But
for next year.
now that this point system's also going to start, right?
Exactly.
So Quentin gets
Um,
points for that second place, and
yeah, men's physique. They have to win two shows. I think bikini as well, and then the points kick in.
mhm.
Bodybuilding and classic physique, it's one victory like it is, and you're in, right? So that's interesting. So it's a shame because Quinton, if they had the points, he would have qualified, no problem.
I really would have loved to have seen him on
So
the Olympic
yeah, he
stage.
has to shut it down and try to get back.
You just got to keep getting better. That's
Yeah,
all.
I
Keep
mean,
getting better.
I didn't finish listening to the whole program of Fuad because I listened to it in the car. He was saying, I mean, he has a good point. Like Samson was at one point, and then in 2 years he exploded. Totally different physiques. 1 minute you're a top tier bodybuilder, the next minute you're an Olympia, winner.
Winner.
So he's saying Quinton's doing like small improvements, but it's time that he just doesn't rely like on basically Fuad didn't say that. I'm saying that now. Like they mentioned it, but he can't rely on genetics to push him through now. He has to go that extra step, or he shuts it down for a bit. Excuse me. or he shuts it down for a bit, and he comes back with major improvements, you know, because they had a good discussion about guys that have fantastic genetics, but it isn't enough, to beat these guys like Sergey, and or like I know another freak, like a Hadi Chupan, for example, So I don't know what he has to do. Maybe I don't know. I don't make
He
coach.
just no, he just has to keep
Yeah.
doing more to improve his physique and keep his lines because that's his game. He shouldn't be playing the size game and keep refining his condition. And soon those second places are going to turn into the firsts.
They were saying, Ian was saying that it could be his training, that he's not really training, that heavy, and he needs he has to go that extra step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but
Um,
we don't know that. I mean,
that's
like,
the
do we
thing,
know that he
but I
doesn't?
don't know. I
We don't
think
know.
he saw footage of him training with Samson in the last week, a couple of weeks ago, and he said there's a huge difference between one guy, the way he trains, and the way Quentin trains. So it's like he's telling he
Sometimes
should
you.
come over to Canada and do a couple of sessions with me, and I'll get him on track. So it could
Yeah,
be.
I do it with him too.
Yeah, it could be that he needs that a bit of a push on training, because I don't think he has his diet wrong, or whatever he's doing, his protocols.
Sometimes the guys, and I'm not saying this is the case with Quinn, I'm just saying
No,
in
no, we're
general.
just saying, yeah.
Sometimes the guys with the genetics that are not so good, those are the ones that work. So like a Rich
That's the
Gaspari.
thing. Yeah.
Rich Gaspari
That I was gonna
did
mention
not
it. Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
lines or the genetics of some of the guys that he would beat all the time because he was just a workhorse
Yeah,
and
exactly.
killed
Yeah.
himself in the gym and killed himself at the diet table. And
Dorian Yates. Yeah.
sometimes those guys beat the
Yeah.
guys with the genetics. Now,
Yeah.
if you get a guy like a Ronnie Coleman who
Yeah.
has the genetics and the work ethic, that's where you get an eight-time Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia,
Yeah.
you
Like
know.
like Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, Then you
Yeah,
get
Lee
guys
Haney
like
even
Flex Wheeler, where he admits that he
that he
could have
didn't have
he
the
could have did
push that he
better.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He could have done better. Or then, you get guys like um Dorian Yates. He didn't have the genetics to be, he had the genetics to be a freak, but he didn't have the flowing lines like,
right.
other bodybuilders,
Yeah,
so you have to just go all out. You have
yeah,
3 years. Obviously, you have to be careful, and you can't say, take it bit by bit. Sometimes you have to just go all in. Um, they were mentioning about James Hollinger, that obviously has a fantastic physique. But they were mentioning that I think I don't know, I might be making a mistake, that he might be changing coaches a lot. He doesn't, you would know more about this than I would, Eric.
yeah. Well, I don't know if he's changing coaches a lot, but I think
No,
that's such
no,
a
not,
people who do coach hopping is terrible.
yeah, not changing coaches. I mean, like, I'm not like, I'm saying, like, you know what I mean when it comes to um like
You have to you have to be consistent with a coach
that's
for a
it.
few
He
years
has to,
and let
because he
them
has a
learn your
fantastic,
body.
yeah, fantastic physique, but it's like maybe he has to give more trust into one coach, even let him do bad at a couple of shows, just so he
Yeah,
learns how he is. You know what I
of
mean?
course. You're
Yeah,
not going to win every show. Sometimes you're not going to have a great outing. And
yeah,
then as long as that coach is going to work to figure out what went wrong and do, you have to give a coach
yeah,
at least 5 or 6 shows with you to
yeah.
work it out.
That's a year or 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You have to give
yeah,
a coach time. You can't just,
yeah,
unless find a coach and he's not there for you and he doesn't send things on time and
yeah,
he's irresponsible. But
yeah,
in terms of you have a coach that is there for you and he's working really hard, you
yeah.
got to give him a chance to learn your body. You have to.
They made they made a good point saying, it could be, what do you call it, before a contest when you get nervous, cortisol. What do you
Yeah,
call it?
cortisol release. Yeah.
Yeah, there. Fuad was saying, literally, that will destroy you. Even Ian, like,
If you are a nervous type and you
yeah,
stress like crazy, you'll
yeah,
hold water like
yeah,
nuts.
like, like this is 9 hours ago. Look at him. It's like he's off, and he's just off a contest, and he's going to compete at the British Pro, and then Prague. You know, they're saying that they were blaming it on that he could be really nervous at the moment. I mean, look at the difference here. You know, um, they were saying like 16 weeks work can go down the drain just because he
It can.
doesn't he overthinks or you know
If you let your nerves get the best of you, your body will, in response, release cortisol,
yeah,
aldosterone. You'll start to hold water, and you'll look like you're not
yeah,
in shape. But
yeah,
and your muscles, you can't get a good pump. Your muscles go
and
flat.
they said the
It's
exact
it's a
words.
whole
Yeah,
mess. It's
yeah,
the people who are, I know it because of my clients. Like I know the ones that are get so nervous before the day of the show versus the ones that are just totally calm, carefree. And I don't, those guys, those people are easy because their body
yeah,
stays,
yeah,
consistent. But
yeah,
I know the ones that have anxiety problems and stuff, and I have to stay on them and try to always calm them down
yeah, yeah,
because yes,
yeah,
when your body's in that such a delicate state and you're talking about very low body fat percentages, you know, ton of water under the skin,
yeah,
that just ruins that whole condition. So
yeah.
it's a
Even
problem for some people
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, even like, they made a good point of what could affect you. Like, you tell your client something, your athlete, they believe it's not the right instructions. They don't listen to you and they do their thing. Like even a day before, like for example, Fuad was saying he had a contest once and he was with God rest his soul, what's his name? He was that coach. He died a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Uh,
Matt,
no, not Matt.
not Matt.
No, he passed away. What's his name? I forget his name. Anyways, um, uh, he told him, like, for example, just go on a treadmill tonight, walk at a slow pace, a certain time, and go to sleep. What did he do? To go that, he was coming off 2 wins. He said this, I'm going to win this. So he went that extra mile. He did a harder cardio session, you know, knowing that he's doing something the coach told him not to do. He wakes up in the morning and his body's just whacked totally off.
Yeah.
Um, so it's everything. It's nerves. It's listening to the coach. So I
There's a
took
lot of
that from
factors that
good.
come into play when you have to
Yeah,
peak. So,
yeah, yeah,
but you should, if you trust your coach from beginning to end, you should trust your coach. You shouldn't go off of their advice. And then, if you follow their advice completely and the results are bad over and over and over again,
yeah,
then maybe it's time to switch. But you got to listen to your coach and trust them because sometimes one of the best parts about having a coach is that a lot of people when they're getting ready for a show, there's a certain amount of brain fog that comes into play
yeah,
from
yeah,
being so exhausted. There's a certain amount of not almost not seeing what's in front of you. Like you
yeah,
see reality differently because
yeah,
you're so exhausted.
yeah.
And that's where a coach comes into play a lot because the coach is seeing you what's really there. And they could
Exactly.
be, they can, but you can't see it yourself
Yeah,
sometimes. So, I
yeah,
mean, as I was actually talking to somebody in the gym just yesterday, I'm not going to mention who, but this person was telling me that there's so much brain fog because she's getting ready for the Olympia that she was using peptides and she injected the wrong peptide that she was supposed to inject something else, and it made her so ill
no,
because, and she said it was because of brain fog.
yeah,
She said, I put she said, could you imagine if it was something really dangerous instead of just
yeah,
getting
yeah,
sick? I could have, who knows what, if it's like an insulin or something.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, like, when you're getting ready for a show,
yeah, yeah.
you really,
You need
you're not in
somebody.
your right
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like Ian Valier said, once he did a show in Toronto or Vancouver. I think Dexter won and somebody else came second. And he placed third, but he said it was one of his best ever looks because he went into the show just to have fun. So his mental, he went there knowing that he's gonna have fun and he was really relaxed. He posed well, and then he said the 2022 Olympia, his last Olympia, I think it was, yeah. Uh it was horrible because you can tell on stage. I was like, he's not posing right. He's, thinking about turning, and he said that he wasn't in the right mental thing for the show, and it destroyed him. So
Yeah.
these things happen to some of these bodybuilders.
I know that the best looks I've ever had on stage myself were on the days that I was the most calm on
Yeah,
show day.
yeah, yeah,
And I've had both. I've had days where for some reason I was a little bit more anxious and nervous, and other days where I was just like confident and feeling good and not worried about anybody. And I was very chill. And I always would get the best pumps and have the best, driest look. And so yeah, I mean, the way you're feeling and the way you're, keeping your calm, keeping yourself calm and relaxed is gonna have a lot to do with things. So and it's funny because a lot of people think, oh, the professionals, um, they're professionals, so of course they're calm.
yeah.
No, a lot of professional bodybuilders, they're even more anxious because they feel like there's more pressure on them,
Of
you
course,
know,
of course.
sponsors and people talking about them on the internet and this and that, and they make themselves crazy. So it's tough,
Yeah.
but you just got to do your best. I mean, what else can you do but do your best to try to stay calm and relaxed and breathe?
Um, so we spoke about that. Let me just get another video up for anything else about France?
No, I think we covered that pretty well. Quentin another second, and there's a new
Yeah.
kid on the block.
Yeah. And I
Pretty
think
freaky.
I think in the coming years there's gonna be more, you
Oh
know.
yeah, it's it's
Um,
it's growing.
yeah. Well, so next we have Kevin lying on the sofa watching Netflix, uh, flipping through his mobile. I mean, I probably brought him up before, but our friend Regan Grimes
Ah
is
yeah.
starting to publish some footage, uh, and this footage is just his back. Can show it, and all right, every bodybuilder on his own looks like Mr. Olympia. All right, that they're gonna win, but um, when you this guy's
Oh, there he's posing the dragons there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he is, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. When you look at him from the back,
Yeah, look at
he
that.
looks like better than Samson does from the back. I
I
mean,
know.
I'm talking from all the way from his calves through his hamstrings, glutes,
Yeah,
and he's not only got width, he's got width and thickness, which a lot of sometimes you don't see.
yeah.
And he's a tall guy. So I mean,
Listen, we can't. He can shock people and move up. I don't know why people are, not putting him. He probably could get a first call out, huh? Look at that.
listen, the thing that I have noticed with him, and I love this guy, he's one of the nicest people ever, just a sweetheart of a guy. He's here in Vegas, so I get to see him,
Yeah,
quite often, or well, not that often, but quite often. And I have one thing is that he's one of those guys that sometimes going into the show, he looks so amazing, and then on the day of the show, doesn't show up
yeah.
like he looked.
Could
So
be
like
nervous.
something is going wrong in the peaking process because he either comes in, he's like looking a little flat, or
Yeah,
his condition's not as good. It's like, and you get frustrated because you're like, he's so damn good
yeah,
that to me, with a slight little bit more refinement from what we just saw,
yeah,
and he's just as good from the front.
yeah.
Um,
He published this 2 days ago.
he could be, he really could be. Look at him. I mean, look at
Yeah,
his fullness. His
yeah,
waist is small. He's wide. He's tall. I mean, he's not going to look small next to
yeah,
the bigger guys. He could stand up next to Samson and Andrew Jacked.
yeah. I think I mean, I think he listen. He's there. We can't say that. You know. Uh,
He's
well,
he's he is Mr. Olympia material, and I think that he's
he
still
is.
getting better.
He is.
But in terms of all the things that you need to be a top competitor to Mr. Olympia, he has them all. He just has to show up on the day of the show like we see him looking. And the same thing happens with Sergio a lot.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
see that with Sergio. I remember back in the day when he was still competing. what's his name? Oh, he just dropped out of my head. Anyway, you see a lot of times with Steve Kuklo.
Ah,
Steve
yeah,
Kuklo,
yeah, yeah,
he used to look like a beast. Two
yeah,
weeks from a show, like
yeah,
Mr. Like, and then he would show up at the show and he would always be a little flat or
yeah,
not as vascular or not as hard. So sometimes it could be the nerve thing, it could be the peaking process, it could be who knows, but that's what we want to see. We want to see Regan show up the day of the show like he looks in those last couple of weeks because he's a dangerous bodybuilder and he's such a good guy. I want to see him do well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, um, to mention another bodybuilder before we get on to the other subjects, um, at there's some fair some expo somewhere, and there's all of the Panada guys there: Sean Ray, Bob Ciccarello, Lee Haney, Phil Heath. I don't know if he went, but for some reason I don't know why I wanted to mention this, a bit of a Panada. I don't know why he's sponsored. I mean, the guy's pumping out the money. All right, he's sponsoring all these retired athletes. All right, the athletes have a lot of exposure. I understand that. Sean Ray, Bob Ciccarello, Lee Haney, I forget who else was there. Um, but wouldn't it be nice if this guy sponsored some active athletes? You know what I mean?
Of course, but maybe he has some sort of
I know he's an
maybe
old.
there's a method behind his madness. Like
No,
maybe there's
I
a
know he's an
maybe he has an
old-fashioned
affection
guy.
for
Yeah.
the old days or
He has
something.
a passion for the old bodybuilding guys. He loves
Yeah.
it. But it's like he's sponsoring all these older guys like Sean Ray and stuff. So and they were interviewing them, and Sean Ray said, we still have to see if Nick is gonna make it to the Olympia. I'm like, come on, man, we're 2 weeks out, and you're still saying
What do you
that
mean? The
this
guy looks incredible.
you're still saying
What do you mean makes it to the Olympia?
that he might not. I mean, why? All right, have your opinion like Lee Haney that he doesn't think that he might place because of his blocky, mutant
Oh, is
physique.
he saying that he's not going to make it to the Olympia at all, or that he's just
Yeah,
not
he's
going to do
still saying he
well?
still didn't make it to the stage yet. You know what I mean? Because he missed 2 years. So, but
Oh, so he's going to all of
yeah,
a sudden
but
drop out after killing
yeah,
himself?
he might drop out again. Like, come on.
Oh, come on now, Sean.
I mean,
Come on, Sean.
if this is the latest pick of him, all right, we're gonna give an
To me, he's
advert.
looking like he's on the verge of being his best ever.
Look at this small waist. You
He's
know,
got his waist tight. Yeah, and that's not even like
no,
he's
no, he's
obviously
just
just probably he just ripped his shirt off and he's just
yeah,
standing
he's
there.
just doing a promo for sale.
But I mean, if you see him in the gym
Yeah,
training, he looks
look
like
at
a
that.
beast.
I mean, I wouldn't want to stand, next to him on stage for
He's going to
sure.
be one of the thickest.
Yeah, I mean, these are 6 days ago and stuff. You know,
Yeah, but he's been posting throughout his prep and you could just see him getting better and better.
look at that. Come
I
on.
mean, look at him. He just looks like a piece of stone.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, he doesn't have the most beautiful body. He doesn't have the most aesthetic
yeah, but
body.
look at
He's
that.
got
His
a little bit of
arms.
he's got a
That.
little bit of kind of strange, that's not his fault. The strange veins he has
Yeah,
in his calves,
but anyway.
kind of like a varicose vein, just kind of throws things off a little bit, but that's not his fault. But I mean, this guy has been third in the Olympia
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. So
So, I don't know why. All right, say you don't like his physique, but saying that we don't know if he'll arrive there. We don't know if anybody will arrive at the Olympia.
right,
Could be
something
from
can
number
happen to
one.
anybody.
Yeah, could be from number one all the way down, So
Yeah, look at Brandon Curry when he ends up in the hospital like or something the day
yeah,
before.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then he goes on stage and places in the top five.
yeah.
But
Moving
that's
on
silly.
to,
I'd
yeah,
say Nick's going to be in the first call out for sure.
of course he will.
No doubt. No doubt.
Of course. And it's going to be the battle of the freaks as well, because there's going to be what's his name there? Nexzilla,
Oh
Mosquera.
yeah.
Yeah, so
He's
we
well,
have
I
to
don't know
see
if he's
if he makes it to the Olympia, because he has a
yeah.
habit of pulling
I
out
hope
here
he
and there.
makes it. I hope he
So
makes it because you
yeah,
just want to see him on stage because he's such a monster.
yeah. Speaking about people making it to the Olympia,
I know where you're going with this.
we have our friend, um,
Yes, I'm
who
so
just
happy
a
for
couple of
Behrouz.
hours ago, he just got his visa. You know, look at him. He's
Look at him.
glowing.
He's so happy.
Yeah. I don't
Could
know.
you imagine how happy he's got to be? How what a
Yeah,
relief this is?
I never needed a visa, but I guess that green paper means something to him, you know? Uh,
He
so,
finally gets to the stage he deserved to be on
yeah,
already.
yeah. So
And that
go
this
ahead.
is very meaningful, Kevin, because it's not like some guy who's like, just getting there, like who might be like 10th or 12th. You're
Yeah.
talking about a guy who potentially knocks somebody out of the top six for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
So he's a big person to be,
Oh, yeah.
he could be replacing somebody and knocking them from sixth to seventh
Of
or
course.
whatever.
I mean, listen, he comes in conditioned, you know. Now Milos has to do his work on him, you know. Stick
Yeah, I
with
know
him. If
Milos
he,
loves this guy, and
yeah, if
I
he,
actually,
I don't know when
yeah, I
he's gonna,
mentioned on Milos had put up a post showing him before he got the visa, and I'm like,
yeah.
I really, really hope he gets his visa. And Milos was like, so do I. And then the next
Mm,
day, there it is.
yeah, let me see if Milos put something up, you know.
Oh, he did. I think he put something up today. I saw he finally made it or something like that.
Um, you know, yeah, he put up a thing that he finally made it. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know where I saw it. I don't know where I saw it. They were putting a lot of pictures with him and Hadi Chupan. Now, listen, Hadi has been on the Olympia stage. He has the experience. He won, you know, he placed second, he placed third. It's going to be Behrouz's first time. He was qualified 4 times. So um, there could be that nervous factor. You know, he might get nervous. But I think he will do well. Now this is something like people talked about him being at the Olympia, but they didn't really include him in any
Right,
of
because
the.
since we didn't know, we couldn't include him
Yeah.
really.
So um, listen, he's gonna freak some people out, huh?
If he comes in his top shape, he'll be one of the hardest guys there. He'll be, he has amazing shape.
Yeah.
He'll have one of the most beautifully proportioned and symmetrical physiques.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to be very, very dangerous. He definitely has a potential. I don't see him quite being at Hadi's level just yet. Hadi is
No.
still a little,
Adi.
you know, Hadi's looking like a monster,
Yeah.
but he's somebody just like Regan. He's somebody that could jump into that top six for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be a war, man. It really is. I mean, it's gonna be to get in the top 10. Like I view the Olympia as two different shows right now. It's like first through sixth, and then seventh through 10th. They're going to be wars to just get. And even if you're seventh through 10th, that's amazing because it's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed this year.
It's gonna be interesting, and Behrouz things are gonna move around now because you know, he could push somebody out of the top six.
That's what I said. He's gonna.
Like you said.
That's why
Yeah.
him getting his visa is a big deal because it's not like some guy who just finally gets to compete at the Olympia, but he's not anywhere. This is a guy who the other guys have to worry. Not that the other guy's going to sit around worrying, but that potentially can knock you. Who you
Yeah.
might have been sixth, you might end up seventh now. So
Yeah, it's hopefully this is like opens doors for him to arrive next year or whatever, you know.
yeah, I think that that's going to be the good thing because if gets his visa this year and there's no issues, and why should there be? Then it'll be probably just kind of like how it is with Hadi that
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Hadi's kind of gets his visa kind of easily. Hopefully he will too, because Behrouz is another guy that's going to keep getting better.
Yeah, and I
So
mean maybe he gets invited to the Arnold Classic, you know, who knows?
yeah, that'd be terrific because he'd be great for the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, so that's cool. And you know, so that's the big news, I think, until the Olympia that he got his, you
Well,
know.
I think that Urs getting in
Yeah,
and him getting in, two very interesting additions
yeah.
to the Olympia this year.
Surely they'll probably be, you know, posed side by side as well, compared. you know.
Oh, they very well could be in the
Yeah,
same call outs. I mean,
yeah.
it's like I said, it's going to be a war. It's going to be very interesting. And the thing that I know I've said it before, I'll say it again. The thing that I love about the Olympia right now is it's not dominated by a person who
No,
you like.
no, no.
You know they're going to win. Everybody else is second, third. Fourth.
We don't know who's gonna win it. Yeah.
We don't know who's going to win. We don't know who's going to be in the top six. I
I
mean,
mean,
we have an idea, but we don't know who could possibly knock somebody out.
yeah. I mean, with all due respect to Samson, apparently he's, really his face is looking, he has that death face, apparently.
Well, I saw the last time that I saw Samson when he was like 6 weeks out, he
Yeah,
looked harder than he did on the day of the show. So
yeah.
he must be going for condition.
He's not really publishing anything, huh?
Yeah, I saw him 6 weeks out on an Instagram post, and he looked harder than he did last year already. So he's definitely decided he doesn't want anybody to say he's not in condition.
Yeah.
Now we'll see what it does though. If he does that, we'll see what it does to his size and his fullness. Because sometimes you have to trade one for the other a little bit.
Yeah. So
So it's going to be interesting. And then, Derek, Hottie, Andrew Jack, Nick, I mean, Regan, Urs. I mean, there's Brandon. I mean, it's going to be nuts. I have a feeling the prejudging is going to take a long time, that they're going to be doing a lot of
I hope
comparing.
so. I hope so.
I think they're going to be really working these guys.
I hope so. Excuse me, because I've have had a bit of a cough and I have this itchy.
Yeah, everybody forgive Kevin. He's a little bit under the weather, but he's still here.
Yes,
Episode
yes.
19.
That's why I'm drinking all the time, so I don't just get into one of these
That's
coughs and just nonstop. Now, um, next up, you have anything else about the Olympia before we continue?
No, I don't think so. I think that we have the big news, which is Behrouz, and we talked about Urs going in, and we see Regan, and we know everybody's going to be in amazing shape. And yeah, I think that we've covered that now for now. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more to say next week,
I
right before it
mean,
happens.
for the Olympia, just to end it off, everybody's talking about Mike for the classic
Mike
physique.
Summerlin,
Yeah, for the classic physique. But
who I actually have been seeing every day. Let me just say, he's been coming to the Dragon's Lair lately because one of the guys at the Dragon's Lair works with him and I was posing, and he's been filming. So I've been getting to see him a lot. And a couple of times he's ripped his shirt off, or I've seen him do. And let me tell you, he is in shape. I
yes,
mean,
yes, yes, yes.
he is dialed in. He is
But
going to be
I just want
very
to
difficult.
I just want to say this. I don't know where I saw it, because I probably saved it because I keep saving posts on Instagram, and then when I go to look for them, I have so many I forget between the jokes that I save and the funny videos. But um, we can't exclude Raymond Dino.
Oh no, I'm not excluding him at
I
all.
saw no no I saw a photo. Somebody put a photo between next to each other, like Ramon at his best and Mike, at his best. I'm telling you, that guy has beautiful lines, huh? Fantastic
I
physique.
still think Ramon was one of the best, and I
If
still
he's
think Ramon,
on, if he's on,
it's going to be a fight.
it's gonna be. I mean, Mike, he has all the the wave is behind him at the moment because he plays second last week.
Yes, and Ramon didn't have a good showing last year. He
No,
plays, I think it was fourth, but he didn't have a good showing last year.
so
But if he fixes it this year,
I'm telling you,
uh,
huh?
that's another very. I would never count
Yeah,
him
and
out of
there's
having a
Logan
shot to
as
win.
well. And there's Logan as well. So we
There's a
can't.
few guys in there, yeah, and Rough Diesel.
Yeah,
I mean, that's another one that's not completely set. Now that Chris Bumstead is out of it, that is another open show for
yeah,
several
yeah,
guys.
yeah. That's going to be interesting. All eyes are going to be on that. So I want to talk about our friend at Muscle Discord. He's a bit controversial,
Mr. Controversy
but
himself.
sometimes he does. I mean, all right, I'm just gonna. It's good to have somebody like that because he stirs a lot of shit up, and we have what to talk about. I mean, I send him messages sometimes. We debate certain things. I try to tell him from experience, be careful of this, be careful, but he's like on a fucking he's plowing ahead, and I have a right to say what I say, and he has every right to say what he says. But then I said, be prepared for certain uh, setbacks or whatever. But he doesn't. He's just piling away.
Hey, I
So
mean,
good luck to
it's
him. So
what he wants to do.
no, I mean
You know,
all he does what he does, and it's good for him, and he's getting the views and whatever.
controversy. People
Says,
love controversy.
yeah.
You know, yeah. So
So
it is what it
he
is.
is. He's been doing it for a couple of shows now. He's using ChatGPT to judge the show. Now,
Right.
I tried experimenting. I didn't go into deal like in detail like him, maybe uploading photos and everything. It would, when I tried it, it was bringing up things from 2 years ago. He looked like this, maybe he should win, but he's actually getting results somehow. And like at the France show, it I think it got it right that Sergio should win and all this stuff. And I think it's a Quinton should have placed third or something like that. I might be wrong. So, and he's saying, they should implement it at the Olympia or at another, maybe at another show, just to not taking over the judging, just having it there, just so they can see what the judges are doing and what this is saying.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, this is my thing. Maybe I'll send him the clip and he can answer us. All right. So, Samson wins in 2024, right? So, ChatGPT is going to base its results on Samson's last event, or could be the Arnold. Let's say they base it on the Arnold. He placed second, right? Uh, the day before the show, Samson freaks out, pigs out, eats anything he sees, comes on the show full of water, and places seventh. The judges see him as a seventh place. I'm saying Samson because he's the winner. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Um, how will ChatGPT know that he got fat? We have to write it, you know, if nobody knows. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my question. When you say that Muscle Discord has been using ChatGPT as an experiment,
Which is
is
cool. It's
is he
cool.
is he, wait, but is he taking like pictures or videos from the show, the actual show, and putting it and then letting it judge,
That's the
or is he just
thing.
saying, "Here's the athletes. Who do you think is going to win?"
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's what I
Because if they're doing that, then you're right. It's going to be based on old results and old
that's
pictures
the
and old
thing.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's done like, hey, here's how the judges judged it. Now you judge it, and here's all the guys. That's a slightly different
Yeah.
story.
Like for example, I can understand Chat GTP. You put in like for example, it would like to have fun with it, right? You put in if it lets you. I don't know if it lets you yet. Imagine you put in who's the best bodybuilder ever, right? So you put in a video of Arnold at his best, photos from the front, side, back, you know, all the angles, right? And you put in Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, and all these guys, right? All the same poses at their best. And then ChatGTP will analyze it, not regardless of the results. You can't judge on results, and you can put Flex Wheeler in as well because they say he has one of the best physiques
Ronnie,
ever.
you could put Ronnie, you could put Jay, you could put Dorian, you could put Lee Haney.
All right, but we're saying aesthetically, whatever,
Okay.
and it tells you we think Flex Wheeler has the most aesthetic, the most beautiful physique ever. So having fun, but it will say we think, or so for a bodybuilding contest, um I would like to know maybe how he actually does it. He probably won't tell us, he won't probably tell everything because it's his little baby. I mean, Dave talked about it and they ridiculed him a bit, and he answered him, in the way he knows how to answer him. And regardless what, I'm not trying to jump on his wave to get likes or hits because of it, but I think it's an interesting subject. It's his baby, he started it, so he should, he's opening up doors with this thing. Listen, it could be the future, huh? People, we're moving towards that today.
Well, I have a couple of things to say. First of all, what I mentioned before, I'd be curious to know whether he's having it judged
That's the thing.
before or after. That's the first thing. Second thing is that people need to understand about AI, and if somebody's a mega expert in AI and I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. AI is not really thinking for
No,
itself. What
it's
AI does is it gathers all the
yeah,
information that has been found
yeah,
everywhere on the internet, social media, everything, gathers coaches' opinions and people's opinions and
yeah,
everything, and then comes to a conclusion based on what it has found. So it's not like ChatGPT is coming up with its own
yeah.
opinion like a person would
Yet.
yet at this point. It's really just gathering information from every source
Yeah,
humanly possible. So really, it's just spitting out what it finds, I guess, the majority of out there.
yeah.
So that makes it flawed still because it really is still based on what human
Yeah,
beings
yeah.
have
I mean,
found.
I mean, ChatGPT, what's good, you don't have to search on the internet no more. You just write it in Google. The first post on Google will be
It's just going to be,
ChatGPT.
yeah, right. So yeah,
Like,
that's why a lot of people just use ChatGPT like Google
yeah,
anyway. But
like, I mean, this weekend there was like the International Air Show in Malta. And I mean, I take pictures of bodybuilding usually. That's stage photography, and some landscape. And I was like, what's the best setting to take photos of jets flying by at full speed? Because they fly exactly on top of my house when they get into formation again before they go to the sea. That's not far from
yeah,
me. That where they did the show. And it for the camera I have, it told me step by step what I have to do. And still I had to do things my way because it tells you what's recommended even in the manual and what other sites say. But
correct.
still, when I relied on what it told me, I was getting screwed up a bit. So I had to do it my way still. You
Still,
learn.
yeah,
But
right.
like 90% of the information is correct, but it gathers from other places. It literally it told me what I knew already. I thought it would tell me something else. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like,
That's all it's doing is it's gathering other experts' opinions and the
yeah,
manual and this and that, and it's
yeah,
just spitting it out to you, but there's still the individuality that has to come into it. So it's
yeah.
not a perfect system just yet. I'll tell you that I know one of my clients likes to use ChatGPT to evaluate her physique and sometimes to evaluate the people she's going to compete against at an upcoming show. And she shows me the results. And some of the things that it says are accurate, but
Yeah,
some of the things see, I feel like it's completely off the wall.
yeah,
So it's just like, I still don't look at it as any kind of even close to perfected thing.
yeah,
And I mean, also just outside the well, it's within the subject, but a little bit different than what we're talking about. I would hate to see judging automated through like a computer system. I still think that it's the kind of thing that you want to see other human beings evaluating opinions, different opinions and thoughts. Because even could you imagine, because I've thought about this before too. Can you imagine like in football or baseball that referees or umpires were replaced with computer systems?
they already
It would
started.
become a lot less interesting.
They already
Like,
started in soccer, football,
I,
soccer. Yeah, like,
I,
all right, goal line technology where the ball, if it goes over, that I agree with. The refs ring, the refs watch will vibrate if the ball goes over because there's a chip inside. All right.
yeah,
Um, and even they call it VAR, video assistance. um, if they're, like an offside, before it was the ref or the linesman, right? There would be that human element. Now, just for an elbow, that much, it's offside. All right, he is offside. But you see the video 10 times from different angles. Sometimes you can't even see it. But somehow, but still there's a human element because men decide in a room. There's three men. It's like tennis. When the ball, they say it hit the line or it's off the line. When they show the ball bouncing,
mhm,
who controls that? Somebody could easily just move the line like this.
And that's the whole problem with it. And I also think they would just make, like in football, regular football, American
Yeah, yeah,
football,
yeah, yeah,
like there's a lot of judgment that goes into some
yeah,
penalties. Some referee would say that's pass interference.
yeah.
Others might say, nah, I don't really think that doesn't quite do it for me. And I think you still need to have that
The human element.
element of the
Yeah,
human
yeah,
opinion to make it. It's going to become a wholly uninteresting. I remember years ago they tried they did a football game, American football game, and there were no announcers, and they just used statistics and
yeah,
stats, and
yeah, yeah,
it was the most boring thing in the
yeah,
world to
yeah,
watch because you want to hear the emotions and the opinions and of the announcers talking about the
yeah,
game. And
yeah, yeah,
it was so and they did it one game and then poof, it was gone.
yeah.
So it's
Like,
like you still need that human element, I think,
yeah,
with
yeah,
all the sports and stuff. Of course you can use like in American football where they like somebody challenges a call and the
yeah, yeah,
judge
yeah,
umpire, I mean the referee looks
yeah,
and
yeah.
they instant replays from various angles, and then they may change
That's
their
okay.
opinion.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's different because they're still using their own eyes and they're seeing what they
yeah,
see. It's not like a computer
yeah.
telling you. So
Yeah, what's
I don't know.
happening now is they're ruining as well, like in soccer, let's say soccer, so in the biggest matches, that Champions League final or the World Cup, they score, you celebrate, right? You're walking up to the line, the middle again to start the game, to do the kickoff after the goal. You see a message, VAR checking goal. So this guy celebrated,
And
right?
then they take away the celebration.
Then they take away the goal.
It's just gonna, yeah. I don't like any of that stuff, and I
Or
think that
the ref whistles for a penalty or something, and then you see him going like this, and they tell him it's not a penalty. So even the ref is relying on that technology. Should I, it's like they took all the pressure off of them. So in
yeah.
bodybuilding, what are you gonna do with ChatGTP? You probably have to have two big screens, huge screens, with that bodybuilder, the way he looks like he's scanned, right? So you have to do it right. That's the way I'm thinking. You scan him, and then they bring him turning around like this, in 3D, so everybody can see them. And ChatGTP analyzes him compared to the other athletes. And then it brings up the live scores. I mean, something has to be done, and the judges judge themselves. And then at the end, you might have to have the ChatGPT winner and the judges winner.
Right, which is nuts. And again, until I mean, probably at some point, and we all have to hope this doesn't happen, that AI eventually
Yeah.
understands that it's what it is, and then it can just kind of take
I
over the whole world when it's thinking when it begins thinking for itself. I mean, that is
I
not good
I
on
still
many
think,
levels.
yeah, I still
But
think they should let the judges judge, and
let the
then
judges judge and
and
use
let
ChatGPT if you
yeah,
want for fun.
yeah, and I
But it
think they
has to
should,
be after the show. It can't be
yeah,
before the show. It has to be at the show
yeah,
because, like you
and
said, if Samson or anybody
yeah,
should win the show the day before, but then they screw up everything the day of they shoot, but the ChatGPT still judges them to win because they won the
yeah,
last year.
yeah, yeah,
No,
and
can't be.
and I think at this point they still should let the judges judge and not people's champ. Let the audience judge themselves each round. Let
I
them
have said that
judge.
before. I think that it'd be
Yeah,
great if if the people's champ, the people got to judge too.
judge
Sounded
everything, and
like
then they
American
can
Idol.
compare. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be the actual results because a
No,
lot
no,
of
no,
people are going to
no,
be biased. But just for like you said, like a people's champ or a people's top six,
no.
or
Or is the people's top six. So,
yeah,
so the judges can say, "Shit, we got it right." Everybody's happy.
yeah,
Like,
or just whatever the crowd gets involved and
yeah,
you know
yeah. So,
people's
you
to
can
see
do it
what's
today with
popular.
your mobile. Somehow, if you have a code on your ticket or whatever, and you send in the results. But I just think, uh, like I said, Matt is he's having fun with it, and
So let them have fun with it. I
yeah,
just don't think that it's gonna, especially with the powers that be. I don't think the judges are ever going to relinquish. No one's ever going to tell the judges you have to relinquish this to ChatGPT. I mean, bodybuilding is kind of self-governing, so it's not like sponsors are going to tell them you have to do this, or that they're so. I don't think that it's ever going to change, and I don't think it should change. You have to have that human element,
So,
but a fun subject to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. I was going to mention Lee Haney again.
Yeah, I know you wanted to talk about something.
Lee Haney, this year, he's really jumping
Vocal.
for.
He's
Huh?
vocal. He's very vocal this year.
Yeah. This year, he's first it was about the look of the bodybuilder, you know, going back to the way it was and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And
He
so,
seems to be missing the old the when I say the old days, I mean like
yeah,
the 70s, 80s, 90s.
yeah, he's missing. So basically, he said, question, why judges being highlighted above the athletes? Why are judges being highlighted above the athletes on recent bodybuilding promotion materials? No longer are the athletes being honored as in the times past. It's not a good look. The athletes should be celebrated for their hard work and sacrifice. No other sport does this. The present day bodybuilding federations need to do better and give honor where honor is due. It's the athletes who should be highlighted and celebrated, not the judges. Stop. You're embarrassing us when other federations look at us from the outside in. So, uh, I understand him. I understand him. It's like today when you see a poster, especially the MPC, yeah, because I mean the IFBB don't put the IFBB of Rafael don't put on who's the judge. Um, the MPC like saying Tyler Mannion's going to be head judge, Steve's going to be head judge, and all these things, with a picture on the side or a big picture of them, and that's like bugging Lee Haney. He believes that the athlete should be um, getting all the promotion. Uh, I mean, the Olympia posters don't have judges. There might be these smaller shows where people want to see, they're saying, listen, Tyler Mannion's going to be there or Steve's going to be there, might get him more, ticket sales and things like that. So in their right, they've become popular figures as well in the sport. So what do you think? Do you think that maybe uh, that Lee Haney's really looking at the past a lot lately? Or, I mean, I agree with him.
Well, I think that well, first of all, I have so much respect for that
Yeah,
man
no,
that I
I'm not putting
respect
him down.
I respect any of his opinions. Um, and I think I understand like you do, like why he's looking out for the athletes in the way that he believes so. However,
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't necessarily feel that the judges are getting more accolades or promotions so much more than the athletes. I just believe that it used to be that you really didn't talk about the judges at all. And now, but I think that what has changed, like has changed with so many things, is social media. And now Tyler, as part of his what he does with the NPC, is he also likes to come out and talk about
Yeah.
judging and why things were judged a certain way and why certain placings were a certain way. And then Steve, obviously, Steve Weinberger, who's, he's a pop, he used to have his wife, used to be Bev Francis. And, he owns one of the most prolific gyms in the world, most popular gyms in the world. And he's also very outspoken. And he has Instagram. And, now with social media, the judges' faces are out there as well.
Yeah.
So I think that that's part of it. So I don't think that any spectators will go to a show because of who is judging.
Yeah.
Um, but I can tell you that athletes do sometimes learn, do if you've been in front of a certain judge a lot of times and you don't think you're being placed fairly, or maybe you are being placed very well. some athletes will actually avoid
Yeah,
certain shows that certain
yeah,
judges are head judges. Like sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, I don't like the way she judges
yeah.
me. I feel like she has something against me, and she'll avoid those shows." Or I don't know, Steve Weinberger, he doesn't seem to like my physique, or he does seem to like my physique. Either way, I'm going to go in front of him or Tyler. So I think sometimes that can happen, but I don't. I see Lee Haney's point, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it's gotten, to me anyway, like out of hand where like the judges are being
Yeah.
promoted above the athletes. It's still all about the athletes. I mean, it's still no one's gonna show up at the Olympia because Weinberger is head judge. They're gonna show up at the Olympia because of those amazing athletes that are there.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't really know if it's much of a problem. So I mean, I wouldn't mind discussing with Lee to hear a little bit more about why he's saying, because there might be more insights than just that post
Yeah.
and his feelings. So I'd like to talk to him more about it, and maybe one of these days we will, because he's
Maybe
bizarre.
after,
So
after the
yeah,
Olympia, now he's gonna
but
have his
I,
show as
I I
well.
understand a little bit more about some of the things with the physiques and the posing and the way shows are judged, those kind of things. But I don't really think the judging. I think that in some ways maybe it's good that the judges are out in front of the people a little bit more, because maybe they have to be held accountable a little more for some of the things that people may disagree with, and then maybe sometimes Tyler or Steve or whoever, or Sandy, whatever, will come out and say, hey, this is why I felt this person beat this person,
Yeah.
and they could be a little bit more vocal about it, and then maybe you could still agree or disagree with them, but at least you can hear their point of view. So I don't really see it as a big issue myself in the sport now. How about you?
No,
Do you see
but
the same how I see it, or?
yeah, no, no, I know what you're saying. And I understand what he's saying as well, but it could be a couple of posters came into his hand that were like, you know, something out of the ordinary. And he said, what the hell's happening? You know what I mean? So I don't know what sparked that off, I can't understand. So we
I
have to
mean, they
see.
always introduce who's refereeing a big boxing match before the fight. They say, well,
Yeah.
this is being refereed by, so
Yeah.
they get some, so it's not like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that they should be like promoted like crazy, but like, I mean, the judges too are a big part of shows, and I don't see. I kind of like I don't know if I don't think they do it at pro shows, but like I like when I go to amateur shows sometimes, and the announcer will also say, judge on the judging panel today is this person, and they'll stand up and they'll wave to the
Yeah.
audience,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
this person, and you kind of like learn who they are. Maybe
Imagine.
it's not a big deal, but I think
Yeah.
that it
Imagine
deserves
like,
a little bit of recognition.
yeah,
Judges
like,
work hard. Judges
yeah,
work very
like,
hard.
the European, like what I see, I'm always mentioning them, but like the Europeans or World Championships, the judges are rotated each time. They're
Well, that's
rotated.
good. I think that's a good thing, a very
You'll
good thing.
have uh 10 judges, for example, or 11, right? And there'll be another 10 behind them ready for the next round. And they just change them,
Well,
so
I think that's good. I think that's good that
it's always changing, always
I do
changing.
think that panels should be rotated, and even if it's not even at the one show, but like in all the pro shows and things like that, I think it's good to bring different opinions and different views
Yeah.
into it, and not the same people all the time. I mean, yes, I understand Steve Weinberger, he or Tyler or Sandy, maybe head
Yeah.
judging, but I think it's always good to have different opinions and judges in there.
Yeah. I mean, for example, at the IFBB World Championships, the pro where that David won 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I asked one of the head judges because I met her in Madrid, and she is from the same country uh, as Mika, the guy, the defending champion, who lost, and he lost his title. And she told me, I mean, even though she loves him, she saw him come from amateur to one of the best, in the world, and she said he wasn't at his best. You know, I mean, she put aside all the, friendships and, from the same country and the same federation and all this stuff, and I really respected that because I asked, I said, what happened there? She said, well, he wasn't, he was just slightly off compared to David, so it is what it is. And, you
Well,
know,
that's what we hope we get from all judges,
that's
a
how we get,
completely unbiased,
exactly.
evaluation of their physique. Has nothing to do with, where
Yeah,
they're from, what they've done before, what, who they're affiliated with or not affiliated with. I mean, it should just be
yeah,
based on the
exactly.
physique that.
That's how it has to be. And anyways, so that's Lee Haney. Now, before we get into Merlin, uh, deaths.
Yeah.
Another like 30-year-old passed away. He was gonna compete. I think he just turned pro or something, and I think I sent it to you. Um, while we're speaking, I'm gonna go into our WhatsApp and let me get the link up there. The latest guy, because a couple have a pro female bodybuilder passed away 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Honestly, it seems like every week or two now.
Allegedly, they said she had a heart attack. Now I don't know that a female having a heart attack at a young age
It's
was
more
brutal.
rare. It's more rare.
Yeah. This where the hell is he? I sent it to you. I know. I said I had sent it to you saying what the hell's happening. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, you showed me. Yeah, that was up on
Yeah.
a couple of pages, I think.
This guy. It's in I don't know what language. Let me see if there's translate. Yeah. Uh,
Colombian athlete.
he was 3 weeks away from his professional debut.
Wow.
Uh, I don't think he was very old, huh?
It looks like he's maybe in his 30s.
Yeah. I mean, he had a fantastic physique as well. I don't know what the hell happened. Nobody's saying what happened. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's very sad and it's happening. It definitely seems like it's becoming much, much more
I
frequent.
mean, condolences to, him and
Oh, of
his
course. I mean,
his family. But you obviously know more than me. I mean, if anybody can pass away. I mean, a bodybuilder is not superhuman, all right? I mean, but they said he had phenomena. What do you call it? Uh, let me go back. Uh, they said he had. I'm saying what they said. It's not me. Phenomena.
what do you have? Was that pneumonia?
Ammonia. They wrote it phenomena.
Pneumonia.
The translate, I read it as they wrote. Yeah,
Yeah.
ammonia. I mean, could it be? I'm just gonna talk really. I might be saying shit. Your your body's going at like 200 miles per hour with the stuff. The PEDs, diet, training. The immune system is like here, and the nervous system's here, and all of a sudden, a spanner is thrown into it. Could it be that everything then becomes more bigger problems than if it was just a normal guy that drinks a glass of whiskey, smokes a cigarette, and has a donut every day? Could it be that you're such a perfect time machine that once something goes wrong, could it be everything goes haywire?
Well, I think there's a few different things that I would speculate on. Of course, when you're preparing for a competition, your body is in a very delicate state. You're
Yeah,
usually
exactly.
you're run down, and that definitely compromises your immune system and makes you very, very vulnerable to catching bugs and viruses that you normally would fight off. So you might normally go into a room full of people and your immune system is strong and nothing happens, but then you shake the wrong hand 3 weeks before a show, 2 weeks before a show, you catch something from that person because your immune system is so compromised and so overloaded that you catch a bug. And then sometimes what could be a bug that you would normally fight off in a couple of days becomes far more dangerous to you and turns from a cold to a flu to pneumonia or whatever, simply because your immune system, again, is just not fighting things properly and not able to fight these things off that normally it would. So, sure, that is something that I know that a lot of people, because I have clients of mine, pick up little illnesses on the way to contests that normally they'd be knocking out in a day or two that, linger with them. And that's because, like I said, again, the immune system is just compromised because it's so run down because of everything that it's dealing with. So yeah, I mean, that's a possibility of why some
Yeah.
deaths could occur. But, I think that there's other things coming into play here why we're seing it
Ab-
so frequently. And,
Building
if
up yeah, too much stuff, PD,
I honestly feel that the amount of PEDs that people are taking today are way more than what used to be taken. There's a lot more PEDs out there.
yeah. Or
Uh,
Eric, maybe I can stop you. Or they're taking more to get the same effect what a little bit used to do 20 years ago because it was the real stuff. Maybe some people are buying underground stuff that's who knows what's in it. And to get that effect, they have to keep taking more and more chance of infection, more,
Side effects.
they're pinning themselves more, which can give more chance of getting like an infection, abscess and all that stuff. So um
Certainly, guys are taking, when I say guys, I mean everybody, guys,
everybody,
girls.
yeah,
They're taking dosages that are way more
yeah, yeah,
advanced than what people were taking,
yeah,
years back. There's that factor that the amount, and obviously, a lot of people demonize steroids and growth hormone and just like
yeah,
they're just deadly drugs. They're not. I
no,
mean, for some people, they could be. If you have pre-existing conditions, you
of
should not be
course,
using them. But it's not like, you can't just, if you swallowed a whole bottle of Dianabol, you're
yeah,
not going to die from it like you would take if you took too much cocaine and you'd
yeah,
overdose.
yeah,
Like, worst thing would happen is you'd have a stomach ache.
yeah,
But over time, if these people are taking too much,
yeah.
it's going to start to affect your internal organs and
Can
break things
happen.
down.
Yeah, it can
Um,
happen with
it can
anything.
happen for sure, 100% for
Food.
sure. And then
Yeah, yeah,
what a lot of people don't realize is that there's really only so much um, steroids or growth enhancers that you can take that your body is going to use. Then
exactly.
eventually the receptors are saturated and everything's left over, and the liver gets compromised, and the heart and the kidneys, and you get better chances of side effects. And then on top of it, there's so many more now peptides and all kinds of exotic things that, with the clenbuterols and T3, and some people use DNP and
Yeah,
all kinds of things that can be very dangerous in
yeah.
high amounts and especially when mixed. And I think that is another problem. I don't know how a lot of people feel about this, but there was a certain vaccine that was introduced into the world
Yeah.
a few years ago that some people were forced to take, that some people decided to
Yeah.
take. I personally think that's a big factor. I think that my belief is, and there's been a lot more evidence to show that this particular vaccine has compromised the health of a lot of people,
No, I know, I know.
even teenagers, healthy
Yeah,
teenagers,
yeah, I
just
know,
dying on a football field, passing out here.
I know. A guy, a close friend of mine. Uh, his daughter got really sick afterwards. All right, so
Right.
I mean, I remember when I was going abroad to many bodybuilding events, and I had to take it by force to go on a plane.
Force. Yes.
And the first shot, it didn't really do much to me. The second shot that I took about 6 months later, man, I took it. I just went to the hospital and I took it. They gave it to me. Everything was fine. I went out with my family, and thank God we went with two cars. My daughter came afterwards, and I was like, my wife. Obviously, the wife and the daughters go shopping for clothes, and I'm there lingering around, sitting on the bed, going into looking at watches and things like that. And all of a sudden, I really felt hot, really hot sensations and feeling dizzy. I said, listen, I'm leaving before I get sick. I did 3 days in bed. I couldn't, sweat, fever. Um, it's like, what the hell's happening? It's this injection, what is it doing to me? A cough. It's like I had that virus times 10. It's like it gave it to me, you know?
Mhm.
And And I said, "My God, I hope they don't." And I think they did have a third one. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I mean,
Well, listen, there's no doubt. Listen, it's I don't want to get too political here and
no,
get into
no,
a whole
no.
thing about it, but I do believe because what I've seen and what has been seen again, there have been people who have had sudden deaths from it. There are people who've
Yeah,
died a few weeks later.
of
There are
course.
people who have been continuously ill
Yeah,
since they've taken it. That people who have been basically healthy their whole life, and now all of a sudden they're sick all the time.
yeah,
I know people who have had certain conditions with their body, and after taking this vaccine, the conditions got 100 times worse.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and and there's a and one of the biggest things that people have put out there is that the immune system becomes more and more and more compromised every time you take more.
yeah.
So I do believe that this, because it
Could be.
seems like it's in the last few years where all these
Yeah.
deaths started
I
happening,
mean,
and I
there.
think that this is a big part of it. Without being too political, that's just one of my opinions about if we're going to speculate on all the different reasons. I think it has to be included.
Yeah, of course. I mean, bodybuilders died. We're talking about bodybuilding. Bodybuilders died before, when there wasn't social media. We wouldn't know about them. And we still don't know about a lot of amateurs that passed away, even at 40, 45, heart attacks, they just passing away, but they don't get that recognition like some other guys do, so even other sports, you see horror shows, you're watching a soccer game, the best of the best, players that are paid, you know, almost 2, 3 million a month to play, soccer. They'll be running on a pitch and just drop dead, heart
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
I mean, what the hell's happening? I mean, this
Well,
guy's they're getting tested every day at work, when training, everybody's tested, how are you feeling? Are you having any problems at home? They check their heart, they check everything. All of a sudden, they're playing football or soccer or whatever, or hockey, and they just drop dead, you know? What the hell's, and he's like 28, 27, 28. Come
you've
on.
been seeing it with high school students and
Yeah,
and who
yeah,
took this vaccine, and it's really crazy. I think, but you definitely like. I feel like speaking specifically about bodybuilding, like people like Robbie Robinson is still around, and
yeah,
Arnold is still around, and
yeah,
Francis Benfato and Barry DeMay, like they're all getting older in 60s and 70s, and they're still around. Chris Dickerson lived to an old
yeah,
age, and
yeah.
but now you didn't really see the people we knew in the sport dying at age 30. We didn't see that,
Yeah. I
you know,
mean,
and now it's happening a lot, men
yeah,
and women.
yeah. God bless him, Cedric McMillan. It's like 1 minute, you know, 1 minute he's here, the next minute, I mean, he passes
Right.
away.
I
I mean,
mean,
the guy's a
this guy
soldier,
was a
huh?
soldier,
Yeah,
and then you have
Sean Roden.
Sean
But
Roden.
Sean Roden, I believe he had so much pressure as well that it could have affected him, you know.
Yeah, and
Uh,
and what's his guy? I can't believe I can't even remember, with Matt Jensen's own client who was like 26. Um,
uh, the English, what's his name?
no, oh my gosh, I'm blanking so bad, and I can't believe it.
I
He was
know, I know.
he turned pro, and then he just exploded and became absolutely huge.
Ah, uh,
My old brain doesn't remember names anymore.
I know who you're talking about.
He even there's even a picture of him hanging in my gym because he's so
He
friendly
came
with Flex.
second. He came second to Cedric in his last show, one of his last shows. Uh,
But he was in his 20s and he
yeah,
passed. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just getting,
Dallas
it's just
McCarver.
Dallas, yes,
Yeah,
Dallas, thank you.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
what a sweet guy that was. I mean, I talked to him,
yeah,
I did an interview with him, me and Dave Borlée, the day before he passed, and it was incredible. But anyway, the point is that I don't think we used to see that,
yeah,
and now I worry that, you
yeah.
certainly don't want to see bodybuilding associated with really short lifespans.
No, it defeats the purpose.
Because then you want to still be,
Healthy.
yeah, you want to see people like Jay Cutler walking around feeling great, and you want to
Yeah,
see, I mean, Ronnie Coleman is not great because he had injuries,
that's
but he's
different.
still,
Yeah,
You want to see, Dexter Jackson looks like the picture of health. Can Kevin
Yeah.
LeBron? You want
Yeah.
to see that. You don't want to see guys living till they're 45 and dropping. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not good. So I think it's something that needs to be looked into, or maybe once you reach the pinnacle of bodybuilding, that something with the IFBB or the NPC, maybe once you're a pro, there should be some sort of health screening they do of their athletes, not rely on the athletes to see their doctors,
Yeah. Yeah. Like
but
they do,
check them
yeah, like
regularly. I think that would be a good thing for
yeah,
the sport.
like soccer teams in Europe before they buy a player that's worth 30 million a year. They do a whole day testing him, jogging, heart, and many times, sometimes they might fail and the team can't sell him. He has to go back to the team, you
Right.
know.
I think
So
that maybe
because
regular blood work should be submitted.
it's high risk for the federation having an athlete that is not at 100%, So
And when you want to see a sport, I mean, bodybuilding has always been desperate to grow, always trying to get it to the Olympics
yeah,
and trying to
yeah,
get
yeah,
big sponsors like
yeah,
Nike and this and that. Then no, that's never going to happen if athletes keep dying. But I think if they take better control and hey, we take care of our athletes, we make sure they're healthy. You're not allowed to compete in this show if all your numbers are off.
yeah.
You know,
It's
I think
now
that
it
might be
depends. It could be an athlete that might have something like, I don't know, Chris Bumstead has I don't know what his thing is, Some athletes, even Mike, I was listening to him on Cutler's show. He had problems in the past as well, but if it's something controlled that doctors know about and he knows about, that's something different. He works around
yes.
that. But if you're just going into a show, you have never had any blood tests, nothing. That's something different. You
Right.
have every athlete, regardless of the sport, has to be tested. Tested,
Right.
and
That's
I
why
mean
I think
physical
the
exam.
IFBB should take that over,
Yeah,
and really help
yeah,
this problem, which seems to be growing out of hand because it's
yeah,
leaving a bad taste in a
yeah,
lot of people's mouths. And it's a lot of
yeah,
sad deaths of, good people,
yeah, yeah. And the coach I mentioned about Fuad is John Meadows.
John Meadows,
Yeah,
yes.
but I mean, speaking about this, he had a long thing of heart problems in the past, so it just gave out. Um, but basically, that's everything from me. And ask Merlin. I gave you some ideas. I don't know if you're gonna pick one of them. There he is.
He's got to
Listen,
always get his camera time, my friend. He's always
listen.
got to.
I have something that my daughters bought me once.
He's kind of like my mini me. Uh-oh, what's that? He doesn't look like, he just looks angry.
Yeah, he's a shithead that pissed
He's a
off.
shithead. Yeah, there you go. You're like,
Uh,
thank you, daughters. I know you love me.
um, and they got me
Oh,
a cup
yeah.
as well. Oh God.
Yeah, that's funny. So,
Um,
yeah, you did throw a couple of things at me, and these are actually good questions because I'm going to answer one in
yeah,
particular on
one
the
of
show,
them, one of them.
because it's something that's asked a lot, and a lot of people are curious about it, and I deal with it all the time as a coach, and any coach deals with it. So, what do you do with sodium before a show,
Yeah,
the peak week? Everybody, because traditionally everybody's like, well, you want to get rid of sodium completely because you're going to hold water from it. So some people go that route, and then some people do loading phases and all kinds of different things. I mean, it's crazy how many,
so
different
people understand, Eric, sodium salt.
sodium is salt. Yeah, sodium is salt. And generally,
Yeah,
taking too much salt, your
yeah,
body will hold
water.
more water.
Yeah,
And people generally, and it would seem to be logical, like, oh, let me get rid of all salt the last week before a show so I don't hold any water. That seems logical. However, things are never as simple as that. The body has a very, very careful system of checks and balances. And, you know, sometimes if you take sodium out, salt out too early, your body will realize this and it actually will fight back against you and then grab onto every possible piece of sodium possible, and it works against you. So I can't tell anybody. There's no one protocol that works for everybody because I have athletes that can use can never do anything to their sodium right up to the show, and it works great. I have some people that do need to cut sodium like the day before in order to drop water. Um, it's all over the map. But one thing I think that people should know is that if you cut too much sodium too quickly, too early, one of the things that may happen is your body may end up reversing and actually holding water. Second thing is you really can't carb load very well without some sodium. Also, your muscles tend to get very, very flat because sodium is needed for the muscles.
Yeah.
Your muscles will get very flat, and you probably will not get any pump on the day of the show, and you'll feel even if you've carb loaded well. So, my general opinion, which is a very broad stroke, is if you look good, if you look, you're hard, you're vascular, you're whatever, and you're a week out and you're having a certain amount of sodium a day, leave it. Don't even change it. Just leave your sodium the same the whole week and rather manipulate your carbohydrates and your water a little bit. Keep the sodium in. If you find that, you're holding you're holding some water, but your body fat's nice and low, maybe 24 hours at the most, or 48 for some people. Don't cut out sodium completely, but cut back on it. If you've been salting your foods, maybe just do one shake, not three shakes, whatever, just a little bit less, but keep some sodium in. Otherwise, your muscles won't get pumped. Now, sometimes on the day of a show, it's good to reintroduce sodium, even if you've not cut it out completely, or if you have cut it out completely, because if you put some sodium into the bloodstream on the day of a show, it definitely will bring out more vascularity, and it will definitely help the muscles fill, and your body won't spill the water into the subcutaneous, which is the under the skin areas, so quickly. It takes time for that process to happen. It takes a lot shorter for your body to use it in a positive way, giving you a better pump in the muscle and giving you more fullness. So what I'll usually have my athletes do is have some type of a breakfast the morning of a show that has a good amount of carbs, good amount of fats, protein as well, but that has sodium in it, like maybe hash browns and eggs, and pancakes with some syrup, sometimes French fries, just something that has sodium in it. And I find that having a meal like that in the morning really, really helps to fill you out. But the key is not to drink too much water. So if you don't drink too much water, you tend to get the positive benefits of sodium, but not the negative benefits. If you drink a ton of water and have a ton of sodium, then you may spill over into the subcutaneous areas more quickly. But if you can keep the water under control, just having some sips or whatever, the sodium seems to work really, really well to give you, a better appearance that day. It won't really be till the next day that maybe you start to see some
And
spillage.
and if you, maybe I'm mixing up things. If you totally cut out sodium, can your body cramp up more, or that has nothing to do with it?
Yes, yes, because that's one of your electrolytes. So you can experience more cramps, which is one of the reasons why, diuretics sometimes cause people problems because it messes with your electrolytes completely, and then your body can cramp. Um, so, my advice like I said, I would be doing a discredit to everyone if I tried to give everybody a singular plan because, like I
No, no,
said,
you
everybody's
can't.
bodies
You can't.
react different. Some people could drink water right to a show. Some people have to cut it. Some people sodium, this, that. Some people can carb load like crazy. Some people can't. But I just find that the majority of people get a little too extreme with sodium, and cut it out too early. And then they find one of the biggest things they find is that their muscles go really flat. They can't get a pump, and then they just don't really, the muscles aren't pushing against the skin,
Yeah.
and maybe all that vascularity that they used to see in the gym when they trained, it's not there anymore. The veins are flat, and you're just so unhappy with your look. So either don't cut your sodium out completely, see how you're looking the week before your show. If you're hard as nails, don't even mess with your sodium. Or if you have cut back a little bit of sodium on the day of the show, reintroduce some sodium into your diet for that morning. Just don't drink a lot of water. And I don't believe in these crazy protocols of sodium depletion, sodium loading. The body, I find, is in, again, I've mentioned it before for about an immune system. The body's in such a delicate state. If you try to do too many crazy things,
Yeah.
you're inviting problems.
Yeah.
You know, people go crazy with carb depletion and carb loading, or sodium depletion loading, water depletion loading. The body is not, I mean, sometimes it works, but
Yeah.
it usually only works one out of 100 times. The other 99 times people go, man, I didn't look the day of the show like I did 2 days before. I
Yeah.
looked so good.
Yeah.
So,
Could
you
it,
know,
and
everything in moderation.
that goes back to what we were saying before, that sometimes coaches need 5 or 6 shows to get used to you, because he
Correct.
might do one show and experiment one way with you. Experiment. It's not like you're his, lab or
Oh,
something.
but it is experimenting
He
in a
might tell
way.
you, listen, the salt, let's do this and let's do that. And then if he sees everything goes out of whack, say, all right, that's in the past. You got what you got. Let's try it different in the next show. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
So
then that's a great point. And another thing you can do, which I've done before too, is if you're very close to a show, so you're pretty much almost in shape, you can use a day to experiment, like to kind of see what happens. Like you could
okay.
say, hey, let's try on this day pulling sodium and see what you look like the next day. Or let's try this day eating salt in your foods more and see what you look like the next day. So you can sometimes experiment a little bit, like 2 and 3 weeks out, and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that can give you a clue about maybe what you should do the day before a show or 2 days before a show.
2 or 3 weeks out. Like, we hope people hear that, not like 2 or 3 days before.
No, you don't want to experiment. You
Yeah.
want to try to have your plan too. But again, and as a coach, and athletes have to allow coaches to coach. If you're going to trust them, then trust them. As a coach, one of your jobs is to evaluate the way your athlete looked
Listen,
on the day of the show
yeah.
and find ways to make them look better the next time.
You're
And
really you're trying to read a body that nobody knows about. Not even I mean, I talk to a lot of friends that have been competing year after year, and they're like veteran amateur bodybuilders, like 10, 15 years competing, right? Every diet is different.
it's true.
If they do the exact same thing the next year, it's not going to work. They always have to change things around. They always tell me that. It's never the same, you
No, your
know?
metabolism constantly changes, the way your body reacts. Listen, it could even be as deep as like sometimes, you know, a client will be like, they'll do really well by just using rice and sweet potatoes as their carbs. They digest it really well. They never get bloated, blah, blah. And then the next year they find rice and sweet potatoes, it's bloating them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then those carbs aren't working anymore. And then we have to try different carbs, like maybe instead of sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, instead of white rice, brown rice, or whatever,
Yeah.
or oatmeal, whatever it is, because all of a sudden their body's not digesting it the same way. So you have to always stay on top of it, which is another thing going back to the point you made. You got to give your coach a chance to work with you a little bit and learn your body, because they're not going to do it. Yeah, you may still have great results the
Yeah.
first show with them, whatever that,
Yeah.
hopefully that'll happen,
Yeah.
but they're not going to know everything about you. They
No,
need time to learn.
no, exactly.
Like anything else, you're not going to
Yeah.
be able to play a song on a piano the first time you hear it. You have to practice it.
Exactly. Exactly. It could be, like we said, it could be anything. You could be doing the same thing with the athlete, and all of a sudden things go sideways. And it's like the coach will say, what the hell? We're doing, you're training properly, you're eating properly. What's your problem? And the guy might say, I'm having problems in the family. And they're okay. Now, that's a different story. You know what I mean? So he might have to adjust certain things to help his client, his body, react to certain things, so
Right, which is why, I mean, we're just kind of going off on a tangent here, but it's a good time to bring it up. When you're an athlete, stay very, very highly communicative with your
yeah,
coach.
exactly.
So tell them everything. Listen, if you cheat on your diet, if you
Yeah, you have to tell them.
miss your cardio,
Yeah,
if you're having problems at home,
yeah,
communicate with that to your coach, because your coach will say, okay, you messed up. Try not to do that again. We're going to move forward from here, but I need to lower your carbs tomorrow. I need to make this adjustment. whatever it is. You had a very stressful day. Tomorrow we're not going to train. Whatever it is, you got to tell them because then they can make adjustments for you.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for today.
That's it for episode 19.
Yeah, I made it through the show with itchy throat, so people know you might find an edit because I had to run down to my car and get my lozenges. I was gonna die coughing.
Yeah, we don't want you
Yeah.
choking
So
during the show.
I had to pause the show for a bit. I thought some water would be enough, but I got that itchy, feeling in my throat, and I couldn't stop coughing. So
Yeah, I've been there before. I know the feeling.
yeah, yeah,
I have. Listen, this has been here with me is always with me. My
yeah.
Hall's
There you go.
lozenges,
Yeah,
because
I have them
sometimes
in my
I get that throat thing, and
yeah.
you have to use those lozenges. That's
I
the only
have
way
him
you
in
can
my
stay.
car. I have him in my car as well. Showing the halls when I was young, in college, just before I go off. Um, I worked at a company in Toronto, and they used to make the halls. They used to make halls,
Uh-huh.
and I got a tour of the factory of
Of the
halls.
Halls factory.
Can you imagine what one hall does to you, right? They're quite powerful, right? It opens you up,
Yes.
and.
Yeah.
Can you imagine seeing one the size of like two cars,
Oh my God.
red hot coming out of whatever the oven, and like a big red or blue or gray blob or yellow, and this thing is mixing it. You know the feeling you get when you walk inside of that room? Like you
Your head
I
opens
don't know how
up.
your brain doesn't ooze through your nose,
Oh my God. It opens you up so much you feel like you're gonna like
You
melt.
breathe one breath and you feel your lungs, it's like going to explode.
It's crazy.
Amazing, amazing. And then they cool it off and put it in a machine. It's like, doo, 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 and then they come out, it's all
Yeah.
ready, ready,
Yeah.
amazing. But it's not the smell, it's the halls, the thing it does,
Yeah,
the
I think
vapor.
it's the methanol
Yeah, yeah. Can you
from the
imagine
halls. That's what
the
opens you
size of
up.
two Corvettes just mixing in there? I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, crazy. But anyways.
Anyway.
Um, that's it for today. Maybe so wait, the Olympia is gonna be,
When we do our next podcast, we're only 2 days away.
yeah, next week, right?
Yeah, because it's Friday and Saturday next week.
Okay. And then you're off, you're gonna go watch it. Obviously, you're in Vegas, right?
Yep. Well, yes, I'm in Vegas,
And
and
I'll be doing hopefully a live feed. Hope nothing gets in the way, but I'll be doing a live feed. For sure, bodybuilding, classic physique, 212. I mean, if I'll be awake or whatever, because here, obviously, for me, it's 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So if I'll probably do all of them. Just stay seeing what if people log on and want to chat and say what they want to say. So
well, I'll see if I can bring back some maybe some pictures and things like that
yeah,
that I could
or
send to
maybe
you. You can put up.
speaking to somebody, recording it,
Yeah, if I get
and
the chance, I'll do it.
we'll just see. Just a bit of a shout out for Dan. He released a book today.
Dan Solomon.
Yeah, he released a new book today. Just give him a bit of a shout out because Dan has he'll have a big project going on and nobody will know about it. You know, he's good at keeping secrets. Uh,
Yeah, he's always juggling so many things at once. So
yeah, yeah, he has. Um, this is his new book, Wind Fuel. It's called. Um, Let me go back. Yeah, he has 12 secrets to navigating the world of something. It went really fast. Let me go back to the. So it's not just on bodybuilding. I think it's more
just life in general. Yeah.
not
Well, how to be
motivation and things like
successful.
that. So I hope it does well. Today it was launched and it's on Amazon or whatever. So
You want to hear a quick funny story before we go?
yeah.
Talking about Dan Solomon. So my parents moved to Florida. I don't remember how many years ago it was, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And they moved into this development. And my mother met this woman and became very, very friendly with her. They love each other, love hanging out. It ends up to be Dan Solomon's mother.
Oh God.
So my mom and Dan Solomon's mom are like so super close.
Oh wow.
So
Cool.
yeah, I hear all the gossip and stuff that's
Yeah.
going on. But yeah, so it's
Like she
really,
bought
really
each
pretty
other.
funny.
Yeah, my son's crazy about men and bodybuilding. I don't know what the problem is. And he'll probably say, my son trains these people.
Yeah, yeah, no. Well, my mom always tells me about, certain things that, about Dan that other people might not know
Yeah,
because it's coming from a
yeah,
mom. But
yeah.
it's
But
funny that just an ironic,
yeah,
funny
but
thing. But yeah, Dan and I have talked about that before, how it's
yeah.
funny that
I
they're
mean,
such good
Dan
friends.
Dan is great because even when like sometimes we contact each other or he'll just say you have 5 minutes and he'll give a call. He doesn't talk about bodybuilding straight off. He'll remember things that I'll tell him like a year ago, like this person's not well or this or and he'll ask and he'll remember and it's like, oh be God, I mean to remember what I told you about a year ago or something. So he really he knows so many people and he continues to remember. That's something special. So I hope he does really well with this book and he has more projects coming out that obviously he probably does and nobody knows about them. So
He always got something on, like he had that movie years ago, and
yeah, and I think they're doing another movie because he always mentions some kind of filming. So
yeah,
hopefully you know, um, obviously, from a guy that started doing podcasts with Bob Ciccarello, he really moved up the ladder. So good luck, good for him, and
yep.
I'm happy to see people succeed like that. So he's in the right place. He has a good support, and so anyways. So that's
All
it for
right.
now. Next week, episode 20, which is
Yep.
good, exactly before the Olympia. So we managed to hit 20. We're gonna hit 20. So um we'll have for sure a lot to talk about by next week. And maybe Matt of Muscle Discord will explain to me how he goes about his chat GTP
Yeah.
GPT you know
Be
uh
interesting to find out.
thing. Yeah, yeah. So I'll try
Oh,
to
and I
see.
also want to quick shout out to our buddy Flex Wheeler. He just started a new podcast of his own.
Yes, I
And
saw something. Yes, I
yeah,
heard
so he
that.
just started that. So go over, check out
Yeah,
Flex's Instagram, check out his new podcast.
yeah.
He actually asked me to maybe be on his podcast after
Why
he goes
not?
a little traveling, which would be nice. And then he also mentioned coming back here to discuss the Olympia.
Yeah, yeah. Great, great. Now, no, it's good that these guys do their own thing.
It's about time
Uh,
Flex does that.
obviously, it's nice to have them on your channel and things like that, but they do their own thing and it's another way for them to get exposure and if they get the enough views, it's a good way to make a small living from YouTube as well. So hopefully he does well. I mean, Jay Cutler exploded, you know. Fuad is doing well, Dave Palumbo's doing well, so anybody can do it.
Yeah.
There's a slice of cake for everybody.
Yep. People love podcasts these days, so it's
Yeah,
almost like more popular than TV. So
of course it is. You can listen to it everywhere. You don't have to watch it and stuff.
yeah.
So
Yep. So anyway, good luck to you, Flex.
yeah. So
And
that's it for now, and we'll see you next week.
all right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.
Yeah,
Subscribe, share, like.
yeah.
We appreciate
I'll
you.
I'll 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 put up the snippets on I'll put up this whole show. Obviously it's over 2 hours and then I'll cut it up into pieces like usual and people can see, their favorite parts. So
All right,
until
my
next
friend. Well,
week.
feel better. Feel better.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you next week.
yeah. See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye.